Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Flagship station for MTSU Sports. The views and opinions on this show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of WGNS, its management, other hosts, or advertisers.
This way.
All right. Are you situated, hon?
I think so. I'm trying.
Jill's getting situated, folks. Ed Raymer with you with Evan Lee Raymer Show. We're glad to be with you. We're running about a minute behind. That's because of me. That's my problem. Glad to be with you tonight. And I've got 3 guests with me. And Chuck Isbell is here. You know of Chuck. Hello, Chuck.
Hey.
You doing good?
Best
Good.
I can.
Okay. And Andy Dickey, his wonderful wife Jill, is here. And they're going to be doing some comedy well, they're not going to be doing any comedy, but, you know, it'll be fun having them on anyway. It always is. Because this bunch, we all kind of make it up as we go anyway. Stuff going on this weekend. Your Titans got beat again. Ho-hum.
That was unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be all right. You get that new stadium, put another $1 billion in it. I'll tell you what, Connor, let's give these folks maximum yield of our time. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off if you could. But for right now, my name is Evan Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator, at least for now. Welcome aboard. Rock and roll to kick you off for a Sunday night. And this is Edmund Lee Raymer Show. I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show's produced here at Studios WGNS AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM, right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And you can reach us tonight with your questions and comments at area code 615. No, it doesn't make any difference anymore. 893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. And you can also send us a text, and our producer Connor will be glad to read it over there. He'll hand it to one of us, and we'll read it for you. For those of you that may be a little bit too high or too shy to come on, live radio, and we certainly appreciate that. Now, you can also catch us everywhere. You can catch us on the good old-fashioned radio, AM 1450. It's been there for 75 years. 100.5, 101.9 FM. And you can watch us right now on YouTube, live, Facebook, live. You can catch all my broadcasts on YouTube. They're there. Just type in the Evan Lee Raymer Show, and my ugly mug will show up. And you can watch this show live, or it is downloaded. Of course, Connor does as soon as he can, as soon as we get out of here. So that's the way to do that. And you also download the WGNS app and take us with you wherever you go. Listen whenever you wish. Talk to Angela Bingham. Her and Angie were on their way out as I got in here. Didn't get to hear their show tonight, but they're always doing great work with us, and they just do a great job. Jason Qualls does a great job through the week. I try to listen to him when I can. He's got good guests, good financial advice, and just good shows. Needless to say, Brian and John doing their thing with the sports right now. They're right in the middle of or coming to the end of the high school football thing. But they'll do the basketball, baseball, softball for the ladies, all that good stuff. This place is jumping. And yes, we are going to be getting a new building, but it's going to be a few more months. But all the building going on, we'll see how it goes and where it goes. But at any rate, I have tonight 3 fantastic guests that I've known now for a few years, and Chuck, I'm going to have you start this off. Chuck Isbell, good to have you back always. You're no stranger to WGNS. No. Tell us what's going on, and you're the reason I've got speed bumps in my community now. Thankfully,
maybe.
Could be.
People,
indirectly.
Indirectly, yes.
Right.
With Halloween coming up this week, I want to remind everybody, be safe, take your time. You don't want to be responsible for taking somebody's life. And then I've been working with my local group and the national group called Families for Safe Streets. And what we're doing is we're introducing a bill that's going to be put on the legislature this year. It's called the Super Speeder Law. And that'll have to be hashed out in the legislature what all it's going to entail, but we're basing it on the Virginia one. So if you get caught going 100 miles an hour, you're going to have to get a device in your car like a governor. It's kind of like the DUI device, no cost to the taxpayers or anything like that. The person has to incur the cost.
Right.
If you get so many speeding tickets, so many reckless driving, whatever it is, you're going to have to get one of those devices. I want to get 2 more things added to that as well. I want to get, if you pass a school bus or if you get caught speeding in the school zone, you got to get the device.
Right. Okay.
And we have problems with both of those in the county.
Sure.
The state for sure, but this county in particular.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I can tell you this, after seeing so many DUIs, that breath thing or that device, it can flat have an impact on a person's life.
And the one thing about the DUI device, you can bypass that. You have a sober driver.
Sure.
The super speeder thing, you can't bypass it.
Oh, yeah. I had Andy. Yeah, he blew mine up many times.
Maybe the wrong person for that. I don't know.
But,
we're joking around. It's not funny. It's not funny.
No, you can't bypass that. It's just going to limit the speed your car can do. And it's just going to, it's about saving lives and, my story.
Which I want you, if you would, to please tell why you're here tonight, because it's important. And tell us how you got into this.
Yeah. I mean, I was a safety advocate before. I wasn't this extreme that I've become.
Sure.
But my son was hit and killed on Halloween night. It'll be 5 years this year.
Right.
He was out doing a little bit of skateboarding with his friends. They had to be back at his friend's house by dark. He had a little garage band, and he wanted to play music with his friends and not go trick-or-treating with me and his niece.
Right.
And he was 13. I had a bad feeling all week, but I didn't want to be the bad guy. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to pick you up at 10 o'clock. So I don't care how late you stay up. You better be up by 10 because I'm coming to get you.
Right.
And then he said his friend's going to come pick him up. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. His mother's going to come get you.
Yeah.
Because you're 13. I'm not letting you walk out with another kid.
Right.
So his mother came over, he's like, she's here. And I'm like, no, tell her to come in. I want to meet her. Because I want to make sure he wasn't pulling my leg. She came in and we had the talk. He walked out the door. The last thing I told him was, don't do anything stupid.
Right.
And then not even 3 hours later, we got the phone call. He had been hit. His mother called me. Somebody called her. And, I was with my oldest son and my granddaughter. And he's like, how bad is it? And I'm like, well, it can't be too bad. She's not freaking out.
Right.
So we go to Stonecrest. It's middle of COVID.
Right.
And so they're checking people in and outside. And I tell them who I am, and they carried us through the front door into a room. No mask, no check, no nothing. And I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Right.
And then my ex-wife, his mother, she's like, did she care if her brother came in? Because we didn't get along. I said, no, you're fixing to need him. Because I knew it was going to be bad. And then my daughter lives in Odessa, and I told my oldest son to call her and get her on the phone. And he was like, why? And I'm like, well, we don't want to make this phone call. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, let's just wait and see what they tell us. And after about an hour, they come in there and told us he was gone.
Right.
And then I was like, can we see him? They're like, no, he's a crime scene. we couldn't do anything. And what happened was he was 2 feet off on the side of the road. Pedestrians are allowed 3 feet. He was on Powell's Chapel Road in Walter Hill. And there's no sidewalk, no shoulder. And the person come flying down the road. People said there was a hill. It's not a hill. It's a gradual climb. I mean, you don't even feel it when you're doing it. And it's the straightest road I've seen in Tennessee, just about. And she hit him going 43 and a 35. She hit him with such impact, she launched him 130 feet. He landed in somebody's yard on an outcropping of rocks. She actually ran his skateboard over and broke it in two. And I don't know if you ever tried to do that. It's pretty hard to break a skateboard in two.
Sure, they're pretty tough.
Yeah. And then a nurse, he was a guy, he lived a couple houses over. He heard it, come running over. Another guy, they picked him off the rocks. They started CPR. Paramedics took about 15 minutes, normal response rate.
Sure.
I talked to people that lived over there. There's a lot of people, they didn't know what to do, and they said they just prayed. Sure. And I always tell people he got the death that we all want. People praying over us, people trying to save us.
Unfortunately, yes.
Most people just die alone.
Right.
It's true, true statistic. And paramedics picked him up, carried him, and then the ER worked on him. And what they found out is that she had hit him with such an impact, it ripped his aorta from his heart, and he was dead probably before he hit the ground. And and so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now with the safety stuff, but I'm also running for school board for Laverne, for District 1.
Right.
So,
and then you started asking simply, and folks, I want to preface this man is not asking for you to do 20 mile an hour on Highway 41. Yeah. That's not what we're talking about. Yeah. We're talking about in communities where our children play.
Yeah.
And I have a perfect example out there by me in Stevens Bend, and we've got kids everywhere out there.
Yeah. Well, the average speed limit in Rutherford County on a residential road is 40 miles an hour.
It's ridiculous.
Smyrna is really good. All the roads are 25, and residential, except for one, is 20. And then Nashville's done it. At 25 miles an hour, you have a 10% chance of death. At 40, it's 90%. And if you go above 40, it just
right.
It's almost 100%.
Right.
Like I said, she hit Nate at 43. He had no chance.
Sure.
Just no chance.
Sure. 40 mile an hour is pretty fast.
It's pretty fast, know, especially on that road. If you go by and look at it, and I've been down it many times.
Yeah. And I wanted to say this, and Andy and Jill are here. Y'all feel free to chime in, guys. This affects us all. But out in our community, we have a street, I think it's Stevens Lane. I'm not sure what it's called. But they've got 3 sets of these. I guess they're rubberized speed bumps, whatever they put in.
Traffic.
And the wife and I were tickled to death to see it. The place is full of kids. They're playing basketball, baseball. They're doing soccer out in the yard. One afternoon, a basketball came out and hit that old Buick that I drive. Y'all have seen it. It's not, it's not actually a classic.
Was the basketball okay?
Oh yeah. and she came. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I said, ma'am. This car is taking more hits than Joe Frazier. She said, "Who's Joe Frazier?" I said, "Never mind." That's how old I am.
You never miss a chance to date yourself, do you?
What did you talk about?
Will you shut his mic off, Connor, please? No, I'm telling you.
We're living this right. So between us, we have 5 kids.
Yeah.
And even on the residential side street that we're on, particularly teenagers, they come flying through there.
Yeah.
We've got the green man. It's a daily struggle. Or we live in a neighborhood that's very close to Blackman High School, but there's no really good way to get from the neighborhood to Blackman High or middle.
But it's walkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's walkable, but
apparently, and that was the thing that came up when the buses were about to
go
on
with the
strike.
The PRZ.
Parent responsibility zone or whatever. Yeah.
And then we have some dangerous areas where I recorded it with my phone because I'm thinking, and they put out some of those hoses where they were acting like they were going to put something in right there at the end of what is it? Brinkley?
It's Brinkley and Blaze. Yeah.
Well, I did an interview with Channel 2 back then, and then I sent a letter to everybody on school board and Dr. Sullivan, and I asked, and my question was, what's the safety plan? Because it's like there's no infrastructure for this. I mean, Nashville's 20% of it has sidewalks and the right infrastructure. 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rutherford County is less than 10. Mm-hmm. So we're nowhere near being ready for that. But one of my big questions was, we had a bear. We had a bear, the Murfreesboro bear. I follow him on Facebook. He's been kind of quiet lately, but it's a true thing. What are we going to do when a kid gets attacked by a wild animal? All the stuff that they were trying to do, making kids. One kid gets hurt. One kid gets mauled by an animal. The whole thing's out the door. And how much money do we waste to do it?
How many kids have been hit just walking to and from school in Rutherford County?
Well,
what is the number? I've heard quite a few.
Yeah, Chuck, do you have a number on that?
I don't have the exact number on it, but I know 2 years ago we had, on the first day of school, we had one girl killed, and then the third day of school we had 2 girls hit in a crosswalk by a Murfreesboro police dispatcher, and they let her go.
And I think that was by our house too.
Well, yeah, and
a Siegel kid was hit not long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't heard that yet, but we did a vigil for the girl that got killed, and I've talked to her father a few times since then. But the other thing is that one of the girls that got hit in a crosswalk came and spoke, and they end up pressing charges against her. I can't say that it was what I did, but we brought a lot of attention to it, because it's like, no, that's unacceptable, because she admitted to being on her phone. There was a crossing guard. The kids were in a crossing walk, and the crossing guard was telling them to come through, and she just plowed right through them.
Well, I applaud what you're doing, man. The first political action I ever took in my life was about sidewalks.
Yeah.
I grew up in Woodbine in Nashville, and
I grew up in Woodbine.
Yeah.
Really?
That's crazy.
Is that
We
right?
didn't sit down here talking. We didn't even know that. I wrote Bredesen. I was like, man, you got to help us out, man. Like, because I had to walk down Whitsett Road.
I know Whitsett.
You had a choice. You can walk in the road.
Yeah.
And this is the middle of the city. Like, you could ride your bike to Lower Broadway. Like, you either got to, especially when it rains, you got to walk in a ditch full of water. And I did. Or walk in, because if you walk in the road, they can't see you because it's raining. Or on the other side of the road is the creek. So you can walk in the creek or the ditch full of water or the road.
In front of Right Middle, McCall.
Yeah.
That's where we live. But the thing is, I remember when they installed that sidewalk.
Yeah. It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
People talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're like, are they going to do the other side? Or is other places going to get it?
Excited.
It was a big deal because you could actually walk to the school without having to cross through the field in the rain or whatever.
I think that this is I mean, I do believe that there needs to be accountability. I'm a big believer in justice, and I think that when people do wrong, there needs to be, consequences. But we do need to think. There's a book, and I can't remember the author, but you read it too. It's Upstream.
Yes, that's a good
Upstream is about thinking upstream. This whole idea of if a boat capsizes and people are, swimming down towards a waterfall, instead of pulling all the survivors out at the end of the waterfall, go up towards the boat, and try and move upstream. So how are we going to prevent tragedy in the future?
Well, one of the things I always try to tell people is I try to be responsible with my grief, because a lot of people have attacked me. I've been accused of trying to make Interstate 24 25 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, you won't have to worry about that. They'll do it all by themselves.
Yeah. Well, right. But I've been accused of wanting to install speed bumps on every road in Rutherford County. I'm like, that's a neighborhood decision. It's got, I want to say we need to do a mile sidewalk every year. That's $1 million project. I want to say that, but are they going to do it? Because then they're going to want to raise taxes. But I mean, honestly, I think there should be some kind of goal like that. I think every major city should do something like that. Just $1 million these days is a drop in the bucket, and it's like I said, it's about $1 million for a mile sidewalk. I'm not the one to make that decision. If I get on the school board, I'm still not going to be the person to make that decision. But the thing is that we've got to do something. And the thing about it is, Rutherford County has experienced this growth over 30 years that they never anticipated. They never thought about it. And now we're behind. And we've got to start doing things to change that, to make it safe for kids to get to where they want to go. I mean, I'm fine if a kid lives a mile from the school to walk to the school. Is the infrastructure there?
Right.
There are some schools that's possible. And let's start there and see how it goes. But at the same time, you go through Lake Forest and you have to walk to Laverne Middle. You have a choice. You can walk in the road, you can walk in a ditch that goes 10 feet down, or you can walk in a swamp.
Right.
Well, which one the kid's going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to walk on the road. And then people fly through that road like crazy.
Well, I'm tired of hearing about a lot of talk in recent years, any party, but anybody being about, we care about children, and we care about children's lives and children's safety, and we're gonna vote and get all these books because books are more dangerous than cars apparently. But we're not gonna do anything. Put your money where your mouth is.
Right. This is what I was gonna say.
In Rutherford County.
Put up or shut up.
Exactly. Where are we really putting our resources? It's not for the children.
It's not. And the people that are doing the books, I understand their logic in it. Don't agree with everything with it, but I understand their logic. But there are larger fish to catch than that. That's low hanging fruit. Let's go for the big things.
Well, I think my friend of ours, Jeff Neal, friend of this broadcast, said I think Tennessee was number 3 in the nation in pulling books off the shelf.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not proud of that. I don't know about y'all. I'm not proud of that.
It's just a focus thing. I think I like the speed humps because they're cheap.
Yeah.
It's not the whole solution, but then
it's not the whole. Agreed.
But then neighborhoods, they ebb and flow, right? So you'll have a 20-year time period where it's nothing but kids, and then there'll be no kids. You can pull it. You can pull them up if you want to.
Sure.
I think I'm with him. Like,
I agree.
It doesn't have to be,
there's lots of traffic coming.
Yeah, there's a doesn't have to be 100 miles a sidewalk a year. Let's start by setting a goal, any goal, whatever that is. Like it's a quarter mile.
Even, it shouldn't, for instance, because I just know right now Blackman, but it should not be 40 miles an hour through there.
No.
Even when it's not a school time.
Yeah.
No,
right.
I think it should be 25, 30 max.
To get people's mindset
well, I mean, there's still kids walking.
Well, I'll tell you a story. I was trying to get those slow down Rutherford County signs.
Yeah.
They had out a couple years ago, and I called the Sheriff's Patrol. They were very helpful. They were very great. They asked me how many I wanted. I said, "Can I get 100?" And they're like, "Well, we may be able to give you 30."
Right.
And they probably gave you all they had.
And they delivered them to my house. They gave me like 33.
Okay.
Sure.
And they told me who to call. I called that. I don't want to say that organization, but I called that organization. And the lady was like, "How many signs you want?" I said 100. And everybody's like, "Why you ask for 100?" And I said, "Well, if I ask for 20, they may give it to me. If I ask for 100, they'll give me what they got."
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, I said I need 100, and she asked me why. I told her I was going and doing events and stuff and handing out signs, and she was like, I told her I was trying to reduce the speed limit on residential roads in Rutherford County from the average of 40 miles an hour, but to 25, get everything to 25. She's like, "Sir, that's too slow for my neighborhood." And I said, and I told her,
I don't understand people.
And I told her about Nate, told her everything about it. She said, "Sir, that's still slow for my neighborhood." And I said, "Let me ask you a question." And she said, "Sure." I said, "What do you do when you go through a school zone?" She goes, "I slow down." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because I know kids are out." And I said, "Where do those kids live?" And she goes, and I said, "No, ma'am." She goes, "I don't want to talk about it." I said, "No, ma'am. You put your foot in your mouth. We're going to walk it out."
Yeah.
We're going to walk it out.
Logical.
And when I went to pick the signs up, I walked in that place really loudly and said, "Hi, I'm Chuck Isabel." And I saw a chair spin and a door shut. And she ran into the back.
Right.
She did not want to see. I didn't know who she was.
And of all this we're talking about, in our neighborhood also, we've got a lot of people walk their dogs.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people are adults that are out late. Now it's starting to get dark earlier now, of course.
And they're only looking out for their dog.
Yeah, and they're looking out for the dog. I mean, it's just a simple. Since I've met you day one, I thought, this is something that's doable.
Yeah, and this is not a Republican issue or a Democrat issue.
It's just an issue.
It's an issue.
Right.
It's a people issue, and what do we want to do? I mean, I understand the Republican talking points for it. I understand the Democrat talking points with it.
Right.
But it's just an issue that we need to address. We need to make a decision. Are we going to do this, or are we just going to keep ignoring it? I mean, Nashville had 16 hit and runs last year. Rutherford County's got a few this year, and there's a lady named Kim Webb. Her son was hit and killed in a hit and run last year. He was on a motorcycle, and she's got legislation coming out this year as well called Jimmy's Law, and it's named after her son. And what it is mandatory sentencing if you do a hit and run, because the guy that hit and killed her son, he got less than a year in jail when they finally caught. That's unacceptable.
And we're talking about what?
Right.
So here's the trade-off. We like to do, when we do big decisions, the Ben Franklin T-chart. I remember I learned it in the 7th grade, and you do your pros and cons. So on one side of the T-chart, we've got reducing the speed limit from 40 to 25 miles an hour. On the other, this woman, it's just too slow for my neighbor. Like the convenience factor.
Yeah.
So the convenience factor is what she's saying. This is why she closed the door. Yeah. She's ashamed that it means more to her than your son's life.
Right. And it's not... My son's gone. His suffering is done.
Any son, though.
But it's the other kids this could happen to. And I don't.
Oh, Chuck, we've got them all over the place out there.
We have a 14-year-old son. He has 2 older sons too, and he's in a band.
But here's the thing, guys. Our children are grown. Our son's near 38. Our daughter's 30. It makes no difference. This is an important issue. We got kids all over our neighborhood out there.
And it's the thing, like Nate turned 18 on February 23rd.
Right.
I had a very hard night the night before.
Sure.
Because when you have a child and you look at that child when he's born, as a man, and you're like, you want this kid to, you want him to go through enough struggle where he becomes a good person, but you don't want him to have so easy that he doesn't grow up to be a good person. Mm-hmm. You have all these ideals of what his life's going to be and what he's going to be.
You want them to be independent.
Yeah. And Nate, and I said this before Nate left this world, but Nate was more like me than my other 2 kids. We could look at each other and have a conversation.
Right.
And argue. Have the argument in their eyes. My other 2 kids, sometimes they'd get it, sometimes they wouldn't. And, it was like a couple months before everything happened when Nate got in an argument with his mom. She called me. I had to go over and deal with it. And I was like, how many mothers do you have? Mm-hmm. And he's like, 1. And I said, why are you arguing with her? He's like, she's wrong. And I'm like, okay, you know it. I know it. Does she know it? Mm-hmm. Is she going to accept it? And he's like, well, she needs to. And I'm like, she's not going to accept it till you're 18. Then you got a leg to stand on. Till you turn 18, keep your mouth shut. Mm-hmm.
Till you're paying taxes.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us.
Just keep your mouth shut. You're not going to win the argument with her because ultimately she'll
All
burn.
right. Chuck, you're running for school board.
Yep.
And what area are you running in? And we're going to have to go to break here in just a couple of minutes. But I want to give you a couple minutes on this because I'm going to have you back.
Yeah. No, it's for the county commission, it's District 5, 11, and 12, but it's most of Laverne and a part of Smyrna.
Okay.
Yep, and that's like I live in District 5 for Laverne.
District 5 for
the
Laverne.
County Commission. Yeah, for the county commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're running. Yeah, you're for sure, but you haven't filed. You can't. You said
can't file
December 22nd.
22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I got all my ducks in a row.
Right.
I've been.
You're definitely going to do this.
I'm definitely going to do it. I've been doing all the events and telling people. I've had T-shirts made and signs made. I got to do something with that money.
We will have you back. Believe me, and please ring this phone. Don't be shy about it. You know?
Anytime you want me, I'm usually available.
Good enough. Chuck Isbell. Chuck, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what you have done, and we wish you nothing but the best. Ed Raymer and Andy Dickey and Jill's going to be with us here for the remainder of the hour. We're going to go to our half break. If you would, Connor, please. And we'll be right back with you on the other side. Stick around. Thanks. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Urging caution on the Argentine beef plan. Welcome and hello again, everyone. I'm Lee Maddox, and this is Tennessee Home and Farm Radio. President Trump has recently suggested importing Argentinian beef to lower consumer costs at the meat case. Chad Smith has details on how that would impact the beef sector.
When President Donald Trump proposed buying beef from Argentina to boost supply and bring down retail prices, the cattle market reaction was almost instantaneous. John Newton, Vice President of Public Policy for the American Farm Bureau Federation, said we've already seen a negative market impact from simply talking about the plan.
We saw limit down movements in the futures market for 3 straight weeks in a row that impeded the ability for cattle farmers to manage risk through the use of LRP contracts. You have to remember that the cattle market is one of the healthiest part of the farm economy right now, and the notion of even importing beef to ultimately reduce cattle prices is a detriment to farmer income.
Newton said the already shaky farm economy cannot sustain a blow to the one sector that's not experiencing a downturn.
Net farm income is actually down, and crop farm cash receipts are down $71 billion from 3 years ago. So it's the cattle side of the balance sheet that is supporting the farm economy.
Newton said cattle farmers and ranchers are barely beginning to get their feet under them after several years of difficulty.
Trying to lower beef prices when that is the part of the farm economy that is supporting rural America creates a lot of uncertainty, especially as American farmers are beginning to think about rebuilding the herd. The notion that we need to lower beef prices would be a 1-2 punch that the farm economy just cannot handle.
Chad Smith, Washington.
A USDA has announced that despite the continued government shutdown, they are reopening Farm Service Agency offices across the country with limited staff to help process vital programs like disaster aid and marketing loans. For Tennessee Home and Farm Radio, I'm Lee Maddox.
All right, we are back, and Andy's coming in, and I got to tell you folks, I got to thank Andy Dickey. He just made me a cup of coffee because I don't know how. So
it's a grande soy latte.
It's what?
A grande soy latte.
Okay, first of all, we don't allow foul language here. Okay, I don't know who brought you in here.
Well, it's from the. Okay. So everybody doesn't get the wrong idea about you. It's from the Keurig, and the label just said black. So
okay, whatever. That's good.
You're intact.
I want to ask you something seriously, and we'll move on. Is that Chuck Isbell? Is he something? Is he the real deal? Or
yeah,
not?
He's an awesome guy. I like
He's
him.
amazing, isn't he?
Yeah.
We're going to get to you all. We're doing a comedy show next Saturday night, I believe it is.
Yes.
Get ready.
Yes. And who's on the phone? Jeff's on the phone?
Yes.
Jeff, hello. How are you?
Good. How you been, Lee? How you doing?
Good. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm well. Just just sporting around and trying to keep all this stuff straight. I hope you do. I just want to say to Mr. Isbell, I met him a few years ago, and I know it's probably the bad time of year, but I know it's tough to have his son be gone. I know it's hard for him probably this time of year. Just want to say for him, I know he's got a lot of things trying to put safety in neighborhoods and speed limits and things.
Right.
I don't know how that works as far as neighborhoods doing that. I know he's done a lot for that. So I know the neighborhood I live in, we don't have any real speed limit signs in terms of 25 or 30 or whatever. What I did want to say is it's been a few weeks ago. I don't know if y'all saw it on the news, but it was one morning in Murfreesboro. It was on Clark Boulevard going through the university, and there was a school bus that was picking up kids, and the school bus had stopped. The horn was out, and the kids were walking towards wherever they took the bus, and there were 3 or 4 cars or 4 or 5 on the other side of the road that parent didn't see it or whatever and passed it by. So there was the police stopped them and gave them all citations, every one of them.
Mm-hmm. Didn't stop for the school bus.
Yeah, it didn't stop. The arm was out where it's at. It's got the red light stop.
Right.
And where the kids get on, where they come from to get on the bus. I assume it was in the morning they were going to school. Mm-hmm. And there was like 4 or 5 of them cars. That I assume they're on the other side of the road, or whatever, and they didn't stop when the arm didn't stop. They didn't see it. I don't know what it was, but they had showed it on there was a video of it I'd seen on the internet. Then later on the news, they had talked about it where they had stopped them and they gave them citations like tickets or whatever. I don't know what the ticket cost or whatever. Gave them a citation for doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the bus.
I don't know how you feel about it, Jeff, but I think the phones are making it worse. Like,
oh yeah,
but the sad thing is they have the technology to stop you from using it when you're moving.
Well,
you're exactly right.
I don't understand why that's not the law.
It's a state law. It's supposed to be hands free.
Right, but they can disable it. Like they can say.
Well, I know they can. I'm saying they can do that. I'm saying it's supposed to be if they get you. If they're supposed to.
And that's not the only reason, because they were doing it when we were kids too. But I think, like Mr. Iswell was talking about, let's do what we can do. We don't have to wait for perfect. Let's do it in stages.
Whatever happened to PSAs? Why don't we have those anymore?
That's a good question.
Well, let's talk about the judge that somebody in the who's that guy in the White House right there? He'll be remembered.
Oh yeah, Jeff. By the way, the all the equipment will be at your house early in the morning. We're going to add on that new wing. Okay, I just want to let you know.
We're going to call it.
It's for Ed Raymer. It's the Ed Raymer wing.
We're going to call it WDJT.
I guess whatever but I'll send you a bill.
It's gonna be the Jeff Ballroom.
Jeffrey E. Epstein, right?
Donald J. Trump. He'll on the station to get through. He'll on to get through.
Jeff, listen, I'm running short of time. Thanks.
I just want to say one thing, just real quick. I want to congratulate our 2 state champions in volleyball, Eagleville, single A,
yes,
and Bill Tennessee Christian, Division II AA, the Cole Burks and Diana Freezy. They won their first. Both schools won their first state championships in school history.
I'll be doggone.
That's cool.
And this week, the Siegel and Stewart's Creek girls soccer teams will be playing in Chattanooga starting Tuesday. Chattanooga for the state playoffs.
Whoa!
And Central Magnet, the girls soccer team made the sectional loss yesterday.
Yeah, they're very good.
The girls golf team lost second year in a row, runner-up. They lost one whole playoff to Greenville, lost to Page a year before. So just want to mention all that.
I appreciate you doing it, and I wanted you to do that. Thank you.
And like I say, it's the first time they ever won it, and since I told the guy tonight there, I don't know if you know this, Emily, but it's the 100th year of the TSSAA. Do you know that?
I did not know. I did not know that.
Eagle is a charter member of the TSSAA 1925.
That's like Sewanee. That's like Sewanee's the charter member of the SEC, founding member.
Really?
Yeah, Sewanee is. Yeah.
Since the year 2022, since that year, the Eagleville High School has won 7 state championships in 3 different sports.
I didn't know that. I never said that.
Baseball, softball, and now volleyball. 3 different sports. They hadn't won anything for 97 years. Now they're making up for lost time. They didn't want nice. They got to make up for lost time.
It's all that NIL money.
Yeah, it's all that eagle. It's all that sod money, Jeff. All that it's big sod.
Now, I just wanted to
Jeff, thank you.
Guys, enjoy your show. Y'all have a great week. And
thank you, Jeff. You're the best, man. I love it when you call.
You're gonna eat all the candy on Halloween, so I won't get none. So
okay.
I'll see y'all later.
Later, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. I'll talk to you later in the week. Appreciate it. Jeff Neal, good supporter of this broadcast, supporter of WGNS. You've got a comedy show coming up Saturday night. What brought all this about? Because I know you two are always looking for a way to do things not necessarily different, but to
Andy and I have we've both been big fans of comedy our whole lives.
Raised by comedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
SNL is a big part of my life.
My wife and I watched the very first. Well, my wife saw the very first SNL. I don't know if I did or not. I think I did, but
the movie that's on it's a Netflix, right?
Or Peacock.
Or maybe Peacock, but
Peacock?
it's great, and it talks about the first show.
Right.
And it was anyway. But yeah, so we love comedy. Andy used to act, and we've noticed recently, especially with things that have been going on, how important it has been. And I used to teach English. I taught English at high school in certain high schools in Ohio and Tennessee for 12 years.
Right.
And satire is part of comedy, and it's been going on for hundreds, thousands of years. So the fact that we still have this going on today, and it's still a line of defense against, there are people that are in power that don't want us to say things.
Poking fun at the king.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's been going on since the beginning. So
Right.
we want to continue that, because I think that that's part of living in a free state, a free society, is being able to laugh.
Well,
it
has, and it's been used, and I came up with, and y'all remember this too, the George Carlins, the Richard Pryors, I even go back as far as Lenny Bruce to some degree.
I was wondering if you're going to bring him into it. Yeah.
My dad watched The Honeymooners, so.
Oh yeah, The Honeymoon. My granddad loved it. Thought, I'm in it, Alice. You're gonna get it. You know. And but
in the South, it's a big part of life. I mean, I was raised on Minnie Pearl, and there's a lot of Southern.
That's right.
Comedians, that are just. Didn't have music without comedy. That's when we were talking about. She's putting the show together. She's like, I'm thinking about having a band. I'm like, this is really old school, because that's how it used to be.
Yeah, we're gonna have a band open up. So we're gonna have some music. We have 3 comedians that are from Nashville, and they're Andy. Whenever we get them on the phone, they like to shoot the breeze and share, war stories of their childhood, their upbringing, where they're from. So these are locals, and we think it'll be a fun way to get some people together that enjoy, supporting what we're going to do, which is mostly
not political, by the way.
No, it's not going to be a political show.
We gave them no parameters other than they wanted to know a lot about us. Like what are we focused on? And we talked about it before on the show, but the PAC is focused on local issues exclusively, like Mr. Isbell's race, like school board, county commission, city council, and issues that are focused.
So this comedy show is a fundraiser for our political action committee that we started to help fund candidates that are local. So we can only operate within Tennessee, and it's going to be we're starting local. We have some candidates that are we're talking with right now in just the county, and we want to get people that are going to get things done, especially with the issues that really cut across ideological lines. The biggest thing is public schools. That's one of the biggest things right now in Rutherford County.
Chuck Isbell's running for one of those seats now. And I notice here you got political correctness versus free expression. Political correctness can put you in a corner if you're not careful.
I think it's best that when Jill said, hey, we're not going to put any preconditions on the acts, I was like, thank you. Like, that's like the whole point of the whole thing. And it's funny, though, every single act she signed is a clean comic.
Right.
And so we saw Dusty Slay a few months back, and we didn't even realize he hadn't cursed, until deep into the show.
You don't use foul you don't need foul language to.
He's great too.
I'm an old washed up construction guy. Yeah. I like a off color joke.
Sure.
Maybe a few choice words, but I don't require it by entertainment. Like, it's not something that's at the forefront of my mind, you know.
Sure.
So,
I did. I used to scowl when I heard clean comedy, and I thought, because I grew up listening to Charlie Murphy Raw. I don't know. My dad, we watched Cheech and Chong, which probably isn't the best movie to bond over with your preteen daughter, but we did, and we just I loved I don't know, I loved that content. So I used to, when I'd hear clean comedy, I'm like, I'm skeptical. But when we saw Dusty Slay, we were at the end, and we were going, he didn't cuss yet. And then we have these comedians too; they're clean, and they're also. What's interesting is they're running up against some issues because they've done a lot of stuff as clean comedians in churches that are local that don't find them. That don't. Not all of them, but some of them are not welcome anymore because of the political divide. Even though they're doing the same stuff they've been doing all along.
Right.
But so
they're moving, but the comedians are staying pretty much the same.
Comedians are staying the same. They're like, we thought we were
moving.
welcome here, and they've lost that crowd. We won't talk about what church might be really big.
Yeah,
that
we probably
did that.
shouldn't do that. Yeah.
But
I never had a problem with people making fun of me.
Yeah.
When I come here to do this 14 years ago, and I told the wife and I told my family, understand, I may be opening myself up to a world of
people
mess.
do not
and
make
at
fun
time,
of you. They do not.
Well, no, not as far as I know. And
Or care.
All right. Yeah.
but that is part of it.
Oh,
It is the tax I pay, and I'm glad to pay it. I don't care. I can come on here, and as long as what I say is clean and no profanity, I can say pretty well anything I want. And this station has been very, very, I may say very, very good with me to do that. But there are other places that probably would not have. Okay? And I realize that. And I'm grateful for that and thankful for that. Because not every, I mean, y'all know me.
Did you act in school?
Well,
Romeo.
yeah, I like the night I knew that I liked it. I acted as MC for the plays at our school in Nebo, Kentucky. And when I walked out, of course, out front, it is dark, of course. And I heard that applause. And I just,
hooked.
that's it. Yeah, and that microphone was there. And I loved it, and I've loved it ever since.
I think the arts are important. So I think if you've ever acted,
I do.
Particularly in a school environment or in a repertory company, it's brutal. So you do a table read, and then you're 12 years old, and a grown adult says, "I have notes," and then you get the deepest critique of your person that you've ever had in your entire life. It prepares you for life. I think that's one of the things that I think championing public education. It's not the whole thing, but part of it is protecting the arts and
exactly. And many of your high-paid, your big stars, so to speak, men and women, they love theater because you get that immediate hit. They don't get that in film.
No, and stand-up's the most extreme case.
It's the most extreme.
Stand-up's first.
Yeah, stand-up is it, man.
Improv's number 2.
Yeah.
Theater's number 3.
That's why Bill Maher hated the pandemic, and
he couldn't take
I think
it.
He struggled since then because
Right.
it messed him up. He needs a live audience, and he did not like it.
Yeah.
But I agree with him. I mean, it doesn't mean we're going to go kill everybody by having a studio audience. But I mean,
let's talk about that T-chart again.
We share an office, and she watches me do it. Like I did a webinar this week, and there was no audience.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to be charming.
Oh my goodness!
Or whatever,
you're telling me when I started. I mean, the first 5, 6 years. I mean, my family listened, and a couple of people were nice, and then Jeff found out about me, I think, and then as it's grown since then, of course, and there are a lot more people. And I run into people. I'll run into people this week. That hey, I heard those folks. I heard that guy on there, Sunday night, and that's a good thing, And I've had people say, hey, I heard your guest on there. I didn't agree with that at all. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. What do you agree with?
Life.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Let's have a cup of coffee and talk about it. But what you all are doing here, I noticed something about the current guy in the White House. I've never seen him smile, except in jest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, any president knows. Man, look at Obama.
Well, you can see that. So we were talking about this in the car on the way over. So I've done business in over 40 countries, and
right, you have
the worst case I've never been to, where you have a completely authoritarian regime, you know. You could probably guess who I'm talking about. Like, it's completely closed. Like, if you see footage of them, they're never smiling, right?
Never.
But there are other countries in East Asia that are on the spectrum, but not as bad as that. So you kind of can see it across the whole spectrum. And I don't think Americans are really ready for a society where we can't tell jokes.
I can't live in that society.
So
I cannot live in that society.
I've got an article in the house where Vanderbilt University, the compact that some of the universities were hit with, about 9 of them. I believe, don't hold me to this, Dartmouth College was the first to say, heck no, we're not going to do it. And Vanderbilt is looking at the same thing, and their people, their alumni, is starting to come out and say, hey, we vote no on this Trump deal. And a lot of those are Trump people that voted for him. But they're saying, look, education. And that's what this involves. It involves everything.
Those policies that some really high-end universities have.
That's exactly right.
They come with non-disclosures agreements that are binding. Like, you're not allowed to disclose what happens in the classroom as far as debate and what people say.
Right.
It should be a safe place.
Yeah, you shouldn't be hung out to dry for something you said when you were 20.
No.
30 years later, when you're learning and growing and trying to, because guess what? If you say something that's very terrible, white supremacist, or think of the most horrible thing you can think of, the kids are going to police that. It's not as though, the idea that they would just let that go in the room. Kids are the most active about just jumping on, like, that's not cool, man. They will tell another kid that very quickly.
Social justice I taught for a while, and social justice is one of the best, tools that a teacher can use, where you just let them take care of it.
Who was the guy, and Andy, you may know, Jill, I don't know if you would or not, the guy that used to be on PBS, played the piano, Mark something or other, and he was a comic. He was on about once a week.
Is he the one that was also with Elmo? Is he the light-skinned black gentleman, tall, that also, I don't know.
I forget his name. Was Mark
I thought he was going to say Lawrence Welk, and then I was
no. No, me and Steve Cates we're on together, but forget that. But no, I mean, seriously, but he did a piano bit, and he'd come up with something every week, it was like, and then I was telling the wife the other night in the car, we were headed home from yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I remember they made fun, like the SNL sketch, when talking about back to the Watergate days, and you all may not remember this, but they had a trial, and our Senator Howard Baker asked the question, when did the president know,
and when did he know it?
Yeah, and when did he know it? Well, they turned it around and said, what did the president know, and when did he stop knowing it? Now that's funny.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure
Aykroyd was probably his best doing Watergate stuff.
What?
Like Dan Aykroyd, he was so good. Like whenever he would get on any show talking about Watergate, he just could do this really stoic, like government type guy very well.
Well, I can tell you the best one with President Nixon.
Yeah.
He called David Frost over in the movie Frost Nixon, the guy that played it, Franklin Jello. And he calls David over at the first meeting that they'd met. They were getting ready to do their interviews because, of course, those interviews were a series of interviews. And I've told a lot of people this. And they're getting ready to part ways for the time being. And David was a man about town. He had a girl he was dating at that time. She was very attractive. She was from Morocco or wherever it is over there, or Monaco or wherever it is. I don't know, Morocco. And he said, David, before you, may I have a word with you? Said, yes, Mr. President, of course. And, and they go, he said, David, you should marry that young girl right now. He said, oh, I know. Said, she is beautiful. He said, oh, no, not that. She lives in Morocco. They pay no taxes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always, and I could believe that the president would say that. President Nixon would say it, because there's always an angle about that.
Yeah.
It's most important thing in the world is not paying taxes. More than love, more than the love of your life.
Let's not talk about.
So what's
how
that
they
say about
split-
Andy, Jill?
I
Catch
pay a
the
lot.
sarcasm in my voice, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, we've got about 6 minutes. And now tell us, y'all did this thing. What's it going to cost us? And where's it going to be? Tell us all about it.
It's going to be just here in Murfreesboro.
Right.
It used to be Main Street Music.
Yes,
but
it
I think
did.
And now it's Luna's Nightclub.
Right on, what is 101?
Main Street.
Main Street.
Main
Broad-
Street.
and Broad.
Yeah, right
Right
next
off
to that
Broad Street.
chrome halo tattoo.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And there's parking across the street.
Plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking, and we're gonna have at least one food truck. We want to get some more food trucks, but we do have
Sure.
a food truck that's gonna be there at least if there's a line outside or if people want to come get food. But at 6 p.m. is when the show is starting.
Doors open at
5, and it's $50 for a ticket.
Okay.
Yep.
$25 if you sign up for the newsletter.
Yep. If you go to the website thevolunteerparty.com and you sign up for the newsletter, it gives you 50% off on the tickets.
Middle Tennessee acts. So Joby Sad, who's one of the guys, really one of the founding comedians at Zany's in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy. He's from South Nashville like me, so he's got to be cool.
He's so funny. I've talked to him every week since we picked him up for at least a half hour. We just talked for, I don't know, he's just funny.
He's a career he's one of the few Nashville career comedians.
Yep.
That goes back to the 80s.
And I want to tell you, and I do apologize, I had volunteered and wanted to fully do this. I was supposed to MC this event, and I notified Andy about a week and a half ago now. I had a wedding that I'm obligated to, that I had to go to, and I apologize. I'm sorry.
We were figuring you're emceeing that wedding too.
Are you
No,
emceeing?
Or officiating,
no.
or
No, they know me. They won't let me anywhere near a microphone.
We also have Rhonda Sweat. I got to say her too.
yeah.
She's,
Right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Rhonda
she's
Sweat.
been on WPLN, NPR in Nashville.
Okay.
And then there's Renard Hirsch.
Renard Hirsch.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a good guy.
Right.
He was a school teacher too, a substitute.
Yes, and I think his sister's a principal or something.
Yeah,
so
something
he
like
has.
that.
So we have people that are local to Nashville. They know the culture. They know the people. This is a place that's known for education.
Sure it is.
I mean,
yeah, believe it or not, it is.
it really is.
it really
That's
is.
why it's the Athens of the South.
Yeah.
Right.
Good. That's the Parthenon up there in Nashville. It's there for a reason. So we're known for public education. Let's keep supporting it. Let's keep making this place great. So I think that the comedy show is a great place where we can meet each other and just have a good night. So,
Folks, if
yeah.
you will, and I want to sign me up for the newsletter thing. Please, before you leave,
Mm-hmm.
I want to pay you. I want to do this thing. Okay.
Okay.
Please do not feel don't. Hey, he's busy, and I don't care how busy I am. Just ask me. I got to do this. But I'm glad you're doing this. Somebody is actually doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I wish I could MC this because I wanted to so bad.
It's gonna be a hoot.
Or if I think it's going to be successful, but if this is a big hit, like I'm hoping it is, we want to do it again. So
Good. Okay.
We'll see you again.
And
You
there will
know.
be alcohol. I know there's some.
Oh
people
yeah,
that
there's
really
also
care about
drinks.
that.
It's a nightclub.
So Juan Luna,
sure.
who runs the place,
Right.
his team's gonna do the
Yeah,
bar.
they'll do the bar, and
So
it's
everything's on the up and up. You
It's
know,
a
they
pretty
have the
cool place.
licenses
Sure.
and all the things.
Yeah,
we don't.
right.
That's the nice thing about that venue is they take care of all of it. You don't have to worry about anything.
Sure.
Of that
yeah.
stuff.
They have
Sure.
other groups that come in there and rent the place out. So it's
Oh,
a very,
yeah,
very
yeah.
neat place.
And it's nice.
Sure.
Yeah, it's perfect for this kind of a show too. It's gonna be fun.
yeah.
Sure. And like I said, I appreciate y'all doing this so much. And like I'm so sorry I won't be able to join you, but it's comedy has always been around to help us get through this.
Mm-hmm.
To get, and especially right now,
Yeah.
because
It's empowering. Like you don't have to be rich to be funny.
No. Yeah.
You don't have to be from a named family to be funny and be successful and be charming. You can go into sales. You don't have to do stand up.
Sure.
So it's an important part
It's
of
very
it.
human.
Yeah, it's an important part of the human condition.
It's very human. We get to laugh. I don't know. It's
One of the best I ever heard on President Reagan. He was doing this guy. He impersonated him, and he did, and had these guys. Of course, the crowd was baited with people, and had this old man stood up and said, "Mr. President, we've got high, inflation. Said that our interest rates are up. Unemployment is high." I said, "What are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? You promised you'd do something. Now, what are you going to do?" And Ronald Reagan, Well, now there's a good example of where we have failed in our public schools. And
Yeah.
I said, that sounds just like an answer a politician would give.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you talked about Richard Pryor earlier. I've got a quote. I told him real comedy wasn't only telling jokes, it was about telling the truth. So I think that's something that's been going on since the beginning of time, is that comedy it has a something of honesty in it. And there is something about punching up versus punching down too.
That's exactly
that
right.
I think that makes it funny or not. Yeah.
Connor, I'm going to have you play our ads when we leave, okay, on the way out. But I thank you all so much. I want you to come back anytime. I want you to do that. And again, I apologize for the mistake that I made.
Okay,
I didn't know anything about it.
Joby's going to take care of it.
Yeah, I'll say it.
He told us to give him some background on you. I don't know what he's going to do with that, but I'm kidding.
I can only imagine if
kidding.
it comes from Jill. I can only imagine what she's going to tell him. You know, thank you so much, Andy Dickey, Jill Smiley. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Chuck Isbell. Chuck's already gone. Thank you, Connor. Thanks for doing the board. We appreciate it. Ed Raymer with you. Glad you tuned in and listened in. Jeff, thanks for the call. And I'll tell you what, till next Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I'll catch you down the road. Good night.